Alright, on today's video, we're going to be doing a review on a light that I've been super excited to get my hands on. And that light is the Olight PLX. Let's check it out. Alright, we're over on the other bench, and let's get our Olight PLX out of the box. So I wanted to go over the packaging real quick, because Olight always has really nice packaging. So right here is the front of the box. It says it's got a max of 1200 lumens, a throw of 300 meters, and it's got the multi-fit rail mounting system. And here is what the rest of the box looks like. Now, if you look back here, we got a little pull tab. We're going to pull that. We're going to open this up. Got another pull tab right here. Going to pull this. It's going to pull everything out. That's everything in that box. And then inside of here is our instruction manual. So you got your user manual here and an illustrated user manual. On this side, we've got our actual light. We're going to pull this out, set it off to the side. We're going to flip this back over. This already fell out. We've got a tool right here. We'll get into what this tool is in a little bit. We also have a rail adapter right here and a screw. This stuff is very small, so do not lose it. And this is something I'm definitely not used to seeing with an Olight. Normally you have a USB to the Olight magnet charger, but this has a USB to USB Type-C charging cable. And that is everything in the box. Alright guys, you know the drill. That tree out there in front of us is about 40 yards out. We're going to test our main light first. This is in low. Now we're going to double tap it and go high. It's nice. It's got a really nice hot spot. Alright, now we're going to do the floodlight. This is low. And now high. That is nice. Alright, let's go over the specs on our Olight PLX. This has an overall length of 2.48 inches. The width on this is 1.18 inches, and it's 1.24 inches tall. This weighs in at 3.07 ounces. The body on this is constructed out of 6061 aluminum, and it has an IPX7 waterproof rating, so you will be able to submerge this light. Now this light has a max output of 1200 lumens and 22,500 candela with a max throw of 300 meters. Now what makes this light really unique is that it has a spotlight and a floodlight. You've got two lights here at the top and you've got one at the bottom. And to toggle between the two, you've got a switch right here. Right now the switch is up and you can put the switch down. I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. Try not to blind you, but right now our two lights at the top are on. We're going to go over here and hit the switch up, and now our bottom light is on. Now as far as runtime goes on this, when you are in the high mode on flood, it will run for 5 minutes. Then to protect itself from overheating, it is going to step down to 500 lumens, and it will run on 500 lumens for 40 minutes. At the end of that 40 minutes, it's going to drop down to 300 lumens, and it will run for 4 minutes, and then the light will need recharged. In the spotlight mode on high, it's going to run at 900 lumens for 5 minutes. Then it's going to step down to 400 lumens for 44 minutes, and then it will drop down to 200 lumens for 5 minutes. This does have a 960 milliamp built-in battery, and it is rechargeable via USB Type-C. So you've got a little door right here. This flips open. What's cool on this is the door is aluminum, and right there is your USB Type-C charging port. Now the mounting system on this is pretty cool as well. Now they've kind of gone away from that throw lever, quick detach style mount that they normally use, and now you just kind of have your thumb screw. But what's different on this is it does have a 4-position track. So you can move this back and forth and get it right where you want it, put it on the rail, and then you can slide it forward or backward, and then tighten your thumb screw down to lock it down nice and solid on your 1913 rail or your Glock style rail. Now I do have the Glock keyway in here right now because the first gun I'm going to test this on is the Ruger RXM. But when you get it out of the box, it will have the 1913 keyway on it. And to change the keyway, you're going to take the tool that the light came with. You got a very tiny screw right here. You're going to unthread that, and you can swap out your keyways. Now, right above our switch to go back and forth from spot to flood, there is a battery indicator. So when we turn this on, it is green, and then we'll turn it off. Now, it will stay green until the battery level drops down to 60%, and then it's going to turn yellow. And then when it drops all the way down to 10%, it is going to turn red and let you know that it needs charged. And when you plug this in to charge it, the light will turn red, and when it's fully charged, it will turn green. Now let's talk about how to use this light. Now this light has 2 lighting modes, and I'm not going to get into that. There's other videos out there how to do it. It's a little complicated for me, and I don't really understand why it needs it, but it does have it if you want to run a secondary lighting mode. Now to turn this light on, if you want to just run it momentary, you can hold down on the switch. It doesn't matter which one. And as soon as you let off, it will shut off. If you want to just turn it on and leave it on, you're going to give it a quick tap. If you want to toggle between high output and low output, you're going to double click it. Now it's in low. Double click it again, and it's in high. And it does it on both sides. Now what else is cool about this? Let's go ahead and turn it on. Let's put it in high mode. Now let's turn it off. It does have memory, so when you turn it back on, it's in high. And if you want to run the strobe feature, which I could care less about, but a lot of people do like having strobe on their lights, you're going to do a triple tap. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and now we're in strobe mode. And if the light is already on, you can do the same thing. 3 taps, and it's in strobe mode. Pretty simple controls on this. All right, now we're going to submerge this in water. It is 208. I'm going to turn it on. And we are going to leave it in there for 5 minutes. All right, it's been 6 minutes, and as you can see, the light is still on. Get this out of here. And it turns off, and it turns back on. All right, now we're going to do the freeze test on this light. It is 1:12 p.m. I'm going to leave it in the freezer for a half hour. All right, it is 1:45 p.m. It's been in there a little over a half hour. Yeah, we got ice cubes on it and everything. And it still works. All right, they're saying this light is drop safe up to 1.5 meters, so we're going to test that here on the concrete. So we're going to get this turned on. Going to drop it on its side. Okay. Still on. Going to drop it on the other side. Still on. And now we're going down on the bezel. Alright, I think it's time we wrap up this review on the Olight PLX. Well, there was a lot of hype around this light and a lot of videos, and I had to test it for myself. And I must say, I'm impressed. It definitely lives up to the hype. So let's talk about the pros and cons with this light. So I honestly only have one con with this light. I'm still not sold on a light that I can't remove the battery and replace it when it goes dead. That's one thing that I love about my stream lights and even my Harbor Freight light. If the batteries go dead, I can pull the batteries out. I carry a backup set in my range bag and my EDC bag, and I can swap them out. With this, I'm going to have to recharge it. Now, my second con normally would be on a brand new light like this, would be holster compatibility. But there are actually quite a few companies that are already making holsters for this light due to the fact of how popular it is. And one of those companies is Works Holsters, which is one of my favorite holster companies, and they're already making holsters for this light. The other thing that I love about this light are the controls. They're real easy to get to, super easy to use. Hold her down for momentary, let off, tap it, it stays on, tap it again, it shuts off. And if I want to go into low mode, quick double tap, and there we go. And I could care less about strobe on a light, but there are a lot of people that like it. And if you need that strobe, that triple tap, it's just really nice, simplistic controls on this. I also really like the fact you can go from spotlight to floodlight. And even that switch is easy to get to. I can take my trigger finger and easily move that switch up and down. So that's a really cool feature. And I think my favorite part of this light is just how damn durable it is. So I was out doing the review on the light and this Goitar EP10. I racked up a little over 500 rounds here on the RXM, and I had this light on it the whole time, and I had the light on. And then I wanted to get some more rounds on it, and I was doing a review on a Vector Optics Frenzy and closed dot. So I put this over on my Walther PPQ M2, and I racked up about 400 more rounds. So I got pretty close to 1,000 rounds on this light. It also survived the freezer. It survived being submerged in water, and it survived the drop test. And the light did get beat up pretty good on this side from hitting the concrete, but everything on it's still working. It's charging just fine. It's just a badass light. I like it. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.